Alright, so let's check out some of the new features on the phone. A lot of these are going to be repetitive compared to the other Galaxy reviews I've done, but there are some new things and I figured I would go over them. Now, if you want to obviously access your phone, pretty easy. You can either hit the side power sleep button or you can hit the physical button here on the bottom and go ahead and swipe anywhere on the phone. Now, one thing I will notice is that, or rather point out, is that you can go anywhere on the screen and it swipes very easily. Sometimes there was a little bit of lag or delay on the S3. Later on in its life, I've had the phone since it launched, so over time a phone will, I guess, degrade or lose some of its appeal. Maybe it's just because it's brand new. That could be another possibility. Now, as far as bloatware goes, if we go through your applications, one thing that is really nice that I like that Google does, or Android rather, is the fact that whenever you can save all of your applications to your SD card. So immediately, as soon as I placed the SD card in my phone and I logged on to my account, my Gmail account, it updated and downloaded all of my applications. So that was really, really nice. So they were out of order. Now, all of these applications that you see right here, put it up to the camera, these are all Samsung applications. So I don't know what they are. They just downloaded to my phone yesterday. So, I mean, a lot of these applications are obviously I downloaded myself. Some of these, such as Air and Shopper, you know, they come on the phone already. As far as a lot of bloatware, I would not say a lot. If you want to later on root your phone and use Titanium Backup to delete some of these stock applications, that obviously that option is always available. Now, one thing that I have been very impressed with is the speaker. If you've been watching my reviews for a while now, you'll know that's one of the biggest things I always am a critic over. I critique it, saying how much louder it should be. For this particular phone, I absolutely love it. I'm really big on watching YouTube videos on my device, and this is because I cannot play any music or anything due to copyright. I'm just going to go ahead and play my own intro, and you guys can tell me how loud it is. So as you can see, I don't have my S3 here downstairs, otherwise I would play them side by side. That is on the highest volume. Now, one thing I will note about this is, since the volume rocker's actually rather high up there, I'm always finding myself hitting the volume down button instead of the volume up. So that may be an issue for you guys. I'm not sure. For me, that's one thing that I did notice immediately. Now, if we go open up the camera, you're going to see a bunch of new features. Okay, this camera is, I don't know if this is the KitKat or if this is the Galaxy S5 version. I'm not really sure. One thing, a couple things, I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as the cameras go. I'm going to save that for a separate video because it's actually kind of elaborate, but it's very easy to use. Now, some things I wanted to point out is the fact that the autofocus on this is a lot better than the S3. Before, when something was out of focus, you'd always have to keep tapping the screen, keep tapping the screen. This camera allows you to, if I wanted to take a picture of this and blur out the background, you can simply tap on the object you want and see. Well, you can't, let me see. No, it's just by the way that I have the camera set up. But anyways, so if I wanted to take a picture of this case and blur out the background and only take a close-up and more crisp picture of the foreground, you just simply tap on your phone where you want it to, and it'll blur out the background, and vice versa. One thing that I really was not a fan of is the camera mode. Before, on the S3, you were able to just simply slide it over to photo or video. Now it's, as soon as you tap on video, now it starts recording. Well, how do you know I wanted to start recording right away? So that feature, I think that they should have disabled. That it should have been where you'd be able to stop and go as you please instead of that. Now up top here you have your settings. There are a lot of settings to go through. Okay, some things I will find useful, other things I will not. I'll go ahead and let you guys take a look at these here really quick. Once again, I'm going to go a little bit more detail and elaborate more on the settings in a separate video. I don't want to keep dragging it on. Some quick options you have here are beauty phase shot more, panorama, virtual tour, which is new, dual camera, which is awesome. I'm probably going to be shooting a lot of my videos. Now, as you can see here's the camera. So it's kind of like the way a Mac records, where, see, ooh, here I am. Ooh. Anyways, so it utilizes both cameras, and if you want to flip, you could simply do it just like that. So now the back camera is actually the top smaller one, and you can expand it, make it bigger. So those are your options. So as far as the 2 megapixel camera, if you guys watched my other videos, I actually recorded a few prior to making this one using the S5, so you can, you know, judge the quality and sound based off of that. As far as the rear camera, it's 16 megapixels now instead of 8. Am I going to go on a long shot saying that's the best camera I've ever seen? No. Is there a huge drastic difference between the 16 and 8? I think that it definitely shows the colors. It's more crisp. But would I say that this would be the phone to purchase for the camera all by itself? Most likely not. Now, some of the new features are obviously the fingerprint scanner and the heart rate monitor. Now, what would you, and it also has a built-in pedometer too. If you don't know what that is, it's for people who have this thing where they want to count all their steps. Because yeah, I guess if you want to call walking exercising, I don't really call that exercising unless you're walking for miles and miles and miles. But anyways, let's go ahead and open up the heart rate monitor, and I'll show you guys how it is utilized. Now, what you do is you have to place your finger on the sensor, and the sensor is, you see it lighting up. So if I put my finger over there, and right now it's measuring. Ooh, 64 compared to my 56 earlier. Maybe it's because I'm nervous because I'm shooting YouTube videos. Oh my god. So that's just what that is for. Now, obviously I would not utilize this for medical purposes because I don't know how accurate it is. Maybe it's spot on, and maybe Samsung just has that, you know, disclosure because they don't want you using it for medical purposes, being like, oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about, my blood pressure isn't that high. So that is that. Now let's go into the fingerprint scanner. Right, to access the fingerprint scanner, you have to go through your settings and find it. Now it'll ask for your fingerprint manager. Now you could store up to 3 fingerprints. I would suggest that you do multiple, because if you're trying to answer your phone, you are going to have to swipe your finger, so maybe it'll be a lot easier if you register more than one. I don't use it. So as you can see, you have to start here where the dots, and you have to slide your finger down. Now you have to slide it over several times until these boxes completely fill, and it'll let you know that the fingerprint was successfully added to the library. Once again, you could store up to 3 fingerprints. Alright, now you have to enter a default password in the event maybe you burn your fingerprint off or something else. So let's go ahead and enter Knoxville 363 so you guys can unlock my phone if you find it. You could say that you found the coolest guy's phone ever. Alright, and let's go ahead and now on the unlock settings, you can have fingerprint. So now it is secured with fingerprint lock. So now let's go ahead and put the phone in sleep mode, and you'll see the difference when you take it out. Now it says emergency call or alternative password, and the reason why the blinking lights are there. Now I'll just show you that it works. See, it says swipe entire pad. It will not unlock. Now when I use my thumb, because that's the print now it recognizes it. Okay, now do I think the feature's awesome? Absolutely. Now here's the downside to it. If you're driving along, alright, trying to answer your phone, you're going to do this, try and do that. I mean, it's way too much of a hassle. So I had it. It's nice because so many people lose their cell phones nowadays that's one that form of security is fantastic. But I wish it was just something where you could just leave your thumb on the home button or this physical button, and then it would unlock. This whole swiping thing, you have to swipe it just right, and then if you swipe it at an angle, then if you're trying to swipe like that, it's not going to be recognized. So I could definitely see the pros and cons of that specific feature. Now, another big thing I always critique about, because of my terrible luck with purchasing the LG Marquee, is the battery life. Alright, now, because the S5 is water and dust resistant, it's not waterproof. So if you throw your phone in the pool, that doesn't mean that it's going to work as soon as you pull it out. They generally mean if you drop it in like a small puddle, I forgot, they give you a specific depth. So maybe if you drop it in the toilet, I mean, maybe it'll work. I don't know. But I'm not going to be dropping mine in any water because I don't need to test that, because I don't ever foresee that happening. Now, you cannot see these maybe you can see these ridges. If I bend the case just a little bit, you can see that this border that they have outlined, there's a ridge that forms all around it. And what that is doing is it is the barrier protective area that protects all the circuitry on the phone. Now you have a 2800 milliamp battery. Alright, so I took a screenshot of my phone's information. Now I had 15% left when I had to put it on the charger this morning. As you can read, I had 1 day, 4 hours, 16 minutes, and 14 seconds on the battery. And that's when I had 15% left over. Now I have 15% right now. Now I will say this much, okay? I have not been using my phone regular. And what I deem regular is how I would use my phone on a daily basis, aka a lot of web browsing, a lot of texting, perhaps a little bit of Netflix here and there. That's how I could generally judge a battery. Some things I will point out: does it last long? Okay, no, I'm on 34%. I don't know why I said 15. Okay, I will say this much as far as the battery. Am I super impressed with it? Absolutely not. When my buddy got the Note 3, he was super duper impressed. So I don't know why Samsung would not put one of these super awesome mega batteries, whatever you want to call them, into a expensive device, their new phone. I think that's what they should have done. That would have been a really good selling point, but they figured they don't need to because so many people are Galaxy fanboys that there's no need, that they could just give you an above average battery. Obviously, as time progresses, like my S3 battery is absolutely shot. I constantly have to have a charger with me everywhere I go because it will constantly drain. So as far as battery life goes, I would say it's above average. So I'm not saying it's terrible, but I'm not saying that it goes well and beyond. Now, yes, that screenshot that I did take with 15% of having over a day, that was with, I wouldn't say minimum use, but definitely not my daily use that I would put a phone through. So I would give the battery above average. Not a very, very good selling point. I really thought it was going to be a lot better, because I believe they said it was up to 22 or 24 hours of talk time. But it's very hard to judge a battery by itself because of the fact that everyone uses a cell phone different. You may use it for phone calls all day and no web. Someone may use very minimum phone calls and texting and all web. So everyone's use will vary. Now, I'm not on the network, I'm on my at-home Wi-Fi, so I cannot show you guys how fast or how slow the phone is. One thing that I will say is it definitely smokes my S3 as far as speed. You can definitely tell that it has a lot better processor in it. It goes very, very smooth. I've had no lag and no problems in my short, I don't know, I'd say a good 2 days of medium to high usage of the phone. Is it worth $600? If you have the S3 and you really want to upgrade, I would possibly wait until I do a review on the LG Volt. because I'm telling you, for $200, I believe that phone was $179 when I bought this one, because I was even contemplating, but because I'm a Samsung Galaxy fanboy, because I was so impressed with the S3, I decided to go all out and get the S5. I don't believe that this phone is worth $600. I believe it's worth $400, because just there's not tons and tons of new features on this phone that I believe would make it worth $600. Are there the heartbeat sensor, the fingerprint scanner, the better processor, the better camera? Yes, they did add new things to it. I just don't find it in the value. I mean, $450, I think $450 would be my absolute tops on this phone. Am I saying it's bad? Absolutely not. I am super duper happy I bought this phone. Do I wish I would have spent a little bit less on it? Yes. But that pretty much covers my review. I'm going to be doing a pro and con video on the phone, and I will also be doing a S3 and S5 comparison, just so that if you do have the S3, I'll run through both of the same features side by side so you can make up your mind for yourself. If you guys have any other video suggestions, feel free to send me a message now that they brought that back on YouTube, or feel free to leave a comment below. Anyways, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for checking out this video, and I will catch you guys next time.